I've got a question for training. Please go over context for POCs. What does it mean when there's a shift? Is a POC going back and forth between two heavy areas? What stands out? Yeah, so when you're looking at POCs, as an example, the POC is shifted high right now. And I say shifted high because earlier in the day, it was it was a little bit lower. It was down here when the market was trading more volume down here. Then it shifted up, but the market's struggling, right? So it's moving up, but the market's not anymore. That would tell me that contextually, this is more likely sellers. It might be buyers taking profit, right? Buyers being sellers. It might be new sellers. I have no idea. But what I do know is that this POC shift to the upside and the market failing to continue up is a sign of weakness. Now, when I say weakness, it doesn't mean it's going to collapse to zero. But it does mean that if I wanted to be a buyer, up here is not the place to do it. I want to see deeper prices, or I want to see the POC stay here and the market break out above them, because then they're stuck. You don't get that as often, but you'll see that pretty frequently, like right here, right? This is a really good example of them getting stuck, where they've got that POC shift. They were trying to hold it high. It broke down, and it looked like the sellers were trying to take it, and then they popped it up. So it looked like the buyers had taken it back, and they had built the volume like they had taken it back. The volume was relatively low weighted at the time. And then this happened, right? Well, guess what? When that POC is in the middle of the day and we just broke out lower, they're stuck. So what are they going to try to do? Well, they're going to try to get their average lower. They low weight the POC, meaning that they built volume down here. Well, looking at the volume sizes, right? If we're looking at the volume there and there, let's look at the highest price traded right around here. And the peak volume was 82,000. So if you go over here, the peak volume was 91,000. So it's relatively equal. If anything, they actually shifted it down a little bit further based on these two. So that would lead me to believe that their average is somewhere floating around break even to be in the middle or slightly lower. Now, that becomes very interesting because do you notice where the POC the next day came in? Weird. What makes it even more interesting is how little time the market spent up there to shift the POC up there. That's another really big clue. So we're taking this into context, right? Earlier buyers who were long over here and built their average in, they obviously liquidated a good chunk of it. Look at the size of the volume, 74,000. So we were looking at over here, 82 and 90. We'll just say 82 and 92. So this came in at 74. That means that the majority of the position is net flat. So as long as it stays above this zone of interest, buyers should be okay to stay in, right? Because that's kind of where their break even is. But if it starts fading underneath this, they're not going to hang out very long because they've already reduced position size to break even plus a little bit, right? The position's already profitable. Why turn it into a loss? That's what all this is right now. They're deciding, are they going up or are they going down? If they go down, they wipe out the rest of these guys. If they go up, they stay in. And then we're probably going back up towards that next POC at 22 quarter.